This is how a narcissist mind works when they're projecting their shame onto you. Welcome to another video. I wish everyone a wonderful day. I am extremely grateful for your subscription to my channel. Any support is greatly appreciated. I'd want to talk about the most severe forms of shame narcissists feel and how they try to cover it up. The truth is that everyone must deal with their share of public humiliation. I'm sharing this so that you can all develop a more nuanced understanding of guilt in its many manifestations. Conversely, narcissists are the center of attention because they are preoccupied with their shame. What do you most regret not doing? First, we must define shame so that we can provide an adequate response. We need to disentangle the twin emotions of embarrassment and guilt. When we make a poor choice, it sinks right to the bottom of our stomach. On the other side, shame develops when we accept personal responsibility for wrongdoing or failure. A confession of guilt is the same as an admission of wrongdoing, whereas access of shame is similar to an entry of responsibility for problems. This view suggests that our inherent character traits, rather than our actions, are more important in determining whether or not we experience shame. To the same extent that only the person experiencing the shame can recognize it as such, the same holds true for guilt. Narcissists have no remorse for their dishonest and manipulative behavior. Why? Since doing so brings them joy. They don't talk about the guilt they feel within, though. To the extent that narcissists feel shame and uncertainty, it is because they loathe the evil, terrible creature they have become. Extraordinary measures are taken to protect their anonymity, because narcissists have bought into the myth that they would never be loved or accepted if they were honest about who they really are. The narcissist's pride prohibits them from admitting to any guilt. That's why they've avoided going there and facing that shame head-on. If they don't want to deal with the issue, they don't have to. Also, they avoid anything or anyone that would force them to confront the humiliation of who they are. They have concluded that burying the embarrassment as deeply as possible is the best approach to deal with it. The only thing they don't want to reveal is their genuine nature, so they put on a show of bravado and self-congratulation and all sorts of other pretenses to cover it up. They were dead set on portraying the ideal partner they knew they deserved. It's as if they've internalized their function entirely. They take extraordinary measures to hide their identities and the depths of despair they've sunk to in order to avoid drawing attention to themselves. Feelings of worthlessness always accompany individuals who have to battle with tremendous humiliation. They are well aware of their predicament, yet they stubbornly refuse to accept it. They find solace in creating a false identity and living a life that is entirely at odds with the truth. That's why they always put on an act. This motivates them to impersonate others or make fun of them in order to hide their true filthy natures. They would engage in all these self-help activities in an attempt to placate their ego and fake self, even though they were broken, dark, and sad on the inside. Because of their preoccupation with how they appear to others, narcissists often go to tremendous measures to conceal any inner distress. They are internally so depressed that they have stopped trying to improve their situation. Because of this, they deceive themselves and the others around them, which is why, despite their financial success, they are unhappy within. It doesn't matter how many connections they have or how reputable they are. They still feel humiliation. No amount of money can restore your pride after experiencing shame. Over time, they've accumulated a growing mountain of shame. They have a horrible self-image as a result of their guilt. This feeling of guilt is what's causing them so much stress. Everything else that a narcissist may feel insecure about stems from their unwillingness to deal with shame. Public humiliation is an effective method of restoring a narcissist's sense of guilt. You could feel ashamed and guilty if you break up with a narcissist. Life changes, such as turning older or receiving constructive criticism, could induce inferiority complexes. It makes it reasonable that some people would go to extraordinary lengths to hide unpleasant facts from others. This feeling develops when a person rejects their own identity. Who in their right mind would deliberately put themselves through that? Narcissists are too busy with denial and act up to know there are better ways to deal with their concerns. Their failure to rehabilitate is significant because they spend their entire lives transferring blame and searching elsewhere for solutions. They are unable to accept accountability for their actions and prefer to lay the blame on others instead. The only way out of one's own inner jail is to admit that something is wrong, that one is not perfect or okay, and to confront that darkness. They've lost the capacity to make us believe their new personas are true to them. There is nowhere for them to go now that they have been surrounded. We are aware of the realities lying beneath the surface looks. There must be something wrong with them if they can fool themselves. There is no one else they can turn on for support or rescue, though. Unfortunately, many people act in such a way because they can't face the truth, understanding that they alone are responsible for making any necessary changes or providing any necessary support. This person is stuck in a never-ending cycle of denial, suppression, and projection, rather than facing their deepest fears and shames. That they are embarrassed by themselves is the source of their most significant humiliation. It's an undeniable truth that everyone experiences shame at some point in their lives. Narcissists are notorious for never expressing their shame, despite everyone having felt it at some point in their lives. They are unwilling to acknowledge their problems or accept responsibility for their horrible behavior. They won't change their dishonest habits, so they just avoid people entirely. Also, they have a lot of unresolved guilt that fuels their envy. Narcissism is widely used as a defense against feelings of guilt and embarrassment. Those who struggle with overwhelming emotions of shame may look for affirmation from others to cover up their own low self-esteem. The inside of that book seems just as dirty as the outside. None of us will ever live a life without coming into contact with a narcissist. Narcissists are tedious and self-absorbed, making them socially and professionally poor company. While understanding the extent of their embarrassment may increase our level of empathy, it will not alter the way we interact with them. Okay, that's it for the day. I hope you find the information beneficial. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns about this here. We eagerly anticipate the opportunity to read them. If you enjoyed this video and wish to see similar content in the future, please subscribe and enable bell alerts. We appreciate you taking the time to view this.